our Zoom call as well. So welcome everybody to the Fit for His Glory Sisters call. Y'all, I am so excited about tonight's call. Y'all are going to think I'm like literally the craziest person ever, but I'm so giddy because I have been working so hard on the content that we are going to cover tonight. And I'm just so honored and excited. I'm going to start crying, and I don't even know why. Why do I always get emotional on these calls? Probably because y'all mean so much to me. But I'm really excited just because we officially, for those of you who don't know, are a 2019 Premier team. So we'll probably be getting a shout out. I'll hopefully get an official call from Beachbody tomorrow, which is so exciting. This basically means what, for those of you who don't know, so Elite is pretty much like the top kind of coaches who have grown their business the most really over the past year. It does not necessarily mean that like our team's the biggest or that we make the most money or any of these things. It really just means that our team is growing, it's thriving, we're helping people get fit and healthy every month. Like our team as a whole is impacting lives. And so right now our team is still ranked number 150 out of 350,000 coaches. Like as of today, I looked, and that's still where we're ranked, which is huge. And we officially are a Premier team. So Premier is one step down from Elite, but last year we were nothing. So I am so excited to be a Premier team, and next year Elite will be our goal. And really, you know, the biggest thing is that Premier and Elite teams just tend to have some of the highest producers out of the business. I mean, top coaches, or I think there's a statistic out there that's like you're like 75% more likely to be successful in the business if you're on a Premier or Elite team. And really that just means that you're working with a coach who is actively pursuing the business and they're pouring into you. And so I'm just really excited about this year is what I'm trying to get out there, is that I'm just so excited. God has done so much. And I just want to thank you guys for your commitment to being here, to showing up, to being consistent, to not just having like 1 foot in and 1 foot out, but to really being all in. And, you know, I think it just speaks to our integrity as women who are going to do what we said we would do, but also to just our vision as a whole of the impact we want to make on lives. And that's what makes our team different. And that's why I'm excited to honestly go over this content tonight, just as we kind of round out this year and look ahead to 2019. So that being said, I'm going to share my screen with you guys. And let's see here. I think this will do it, hopefully. So like I said, I put together a pretty extensive, I worked for a few days on this, hours and hours at night for you guys, just because I really wanted to kind of create something for you. Is everyone able to see this? If everybody just nodded their head yes, so I can know. Okay, awesome. So I worked for hours upon hours on this, and really what it is it is a blueprint for 2019 of just a way for you to sit down and just really think about, like, where do you want to go? What are your dreams? What is the vision? I think that, and we'll get into it in just a second, but I have been reading the book EntreLeadership. Before that, I read Lead Like Jesus. And having clear vision of the future was something that was so important to Jesus as he led his people. But also, Dave Ramsey wrote the book EntreLeadership, and he just talks about the importance of having vision in your business, really just in your life, actually, like even in your personal life, like the importance of having vision. And so we're going to dive into that tonight a little bit of like, what does it look like to have vision over your business? And so I'm going to really just tonight give you a blueprint. You can do as much or as little with this as you want to. This is for you. This is not something I'm prescribing that every person has to do and they have to fill out all of this. Do I think this is going to set you up for success going into the new year? 110%. But I also want you to feel freedom in it, to not be overwhelmed by it, but to really look at it as something that you print off, that you just sit down over the next 2 weeks, drink your coffee and work through it, of like God, really praying over it. Like, God, what direction are you leading me? in 2019? And what does that look like? And so that's what this is about. This is, again, not something where I'm saying I need everyone to do this. I want you to turn this in, or here's another tracker. This is really about you just getting real and raw with Jesus and figuring out where you want to go with this, and what you want to do next year, and then putting it into action and doing what you said that you would do. So I'm excited. Next week, or not next week, next week we'll obviously be taking off. But the first week of January, we'll have a team call, and I will be casting some vision over some of my big dreams that I really believe God's laid on my heart. I'm, to be totally transparent with you, I'm still working through and praying through those, but it's going to be a 5-year vision and plan of kind of where I see our team in 5 years, which sounds pretty crazy to think about, but I think sometimes we kind of work in a silo of only thinking about today, but really thinking about, okay, where do we want to be in 5 years, and what does that look like? So to a brand new coach, you're like, oh man, first team call, we're going all in. But hopefully this will just be inspiring to you. Honestly, there's no better time to start, because I mean, to be able to jump right in right now, I mean, first of all, I just know that we're on the brink of God doing some really cool stuff here. So number one, that's exciting. But number two, just to be able to jump into a new year fresh and, kind of start from the beginning with everybody else is really fun. So that being said, I'm going to shut up and jump into the content, because I could talk forever. So let's see. Okay. So first and foremost, I believe that it is just essential that we stop and we reflect. So when you start to think about 2019 and you start to think about like all the things that you're excited about God doing, what I think a lot of people do is they fail to stop and pause and really close out the year that they're ending. A lot of times we just want to be like, bye 2018, see you later. All right, let's go new year. But God really calls us to stop and reflect and honestly celebrate. And so I would just urge you over the next few days to print this off again, like I said from the top, and really work through these questions here. If there was one word that you could use to describe 2018, what would it be? What were the highlights of this past year? In what area did you grow the most? Did you become a better version of yourself this year? Did you surround yourself with people that make you better? Who inspired growth in you? Obviously, you want to continue to study those people, because those people leave clues. Success leaves clues. What is one area you realize you need to ask for help or outsource? What is one area where you realize you need to develop in? And what is one area that doesn't align with your best life version of yourself and vision? And where can you get rid of some things in your life? So these questions are so important. Important for us to think about for 2019, but first to assess like where we're at. Where are we starting from? What did this year bring? It might have brought some amazing highs, but it might have brought some of your lowest lows. And so taking the time to really sit in those things and recognize God's goodness through them is so important. Just to sit down and say, God, thank you for how you worked in this area. Thank you for that highlight that was so sweet and so special. And I think a lot of times we just want to plow forward onto the next thing. And I'm not just talking about in your business here, guys. Like tonight, we're talking about our real personal lives, careers, families, finances. I mean, everything, all of it, because at the end of the day, all of those things snowball up into who we are. And those are the things that we're sharing with people, right? Like this business is so much more than just, selling something. We're sharing. And so it's really about us becoming a better version of ourselves year over year. So, go for a walk, go for a hike, look through photos from this past year, look over your calendar from this past year, talk to your close friends about things that happened this year, celebrate it. For me, I have a terrible memory, so I can easily forget about things that happened, especially like in the first 4 months of the year or first half of the year. It's like I get to July and it's like, okay, that was awesome. Now second half of the year. But like really sitting down and saying, wow, like I'm over here like, we need to have a team retreat. And I'm like, guys, we had a team retreat this year. We just all forgot about it already, like God was so good. Like he showed up at that team retreat, or like, let's talk about like that family vacation that you had with your family where you went camping. Aaron, I'm calling you out here because I know y'all went to a cabin, but like, you know, those sweet moments that's like, it seems like it was forever ago, but it was like, that was this year. And like going to Summit and getting to work out with celebrity trainers and meet you guys, like those were such fun moments, but it's so easy for us to forget that was this year. And to look back on your Instagram feed and just like, you know, maybe you even get on Canva and make a photo collage of like all the things that God did this year. Like maybe you go back to that list and you pull pictures and you can just picture it, like how good God was. I want you guys to celebrate this year because I saw so much growth in every single one of you. Whether you started with us 2 months ago or this is your first full year of coaching, like so many of you guys, maybe you didn't hit that big crazy goal that you had, but look at how much you grew. Look at how much God did. Look at how many lives you impacted. Print off a list of your customers from the back office and just go through it one by one and remind yourself of like how good God has been and how he's continued to just do more than you could have ever imagined. And then I want you to picture 2019 and I want you to take action. And that's where we're going to dive into the second part of tonight is really that blueprint for 2019. But again, like I said, it's important that we're closing out this year and we're really celebrating all that God's done so that in our hearts we can be excited for the next thing that he's bringing this year. So setting intentions for 2019. All right, I'm going to have to make a little adjustment here. I can't see my full screen, and this is kind of important for me to be able to see what it says. Okay. So I told you guys from the top that I've been reading this book, EntreLeadership, which I highly recommend this book to you guys. But Dave Ramsey is the author of EntreLeadership. He has been in business for 20 years. He is the owner of, he's the writer of the book Financial Peace. He's just an incredible leader. I have had the honor of hearing him speak several times because he lives here in Nashville. But he said in his book, he says, some people dream and stop there. They never do anything about making their dreams come true. Visions are dreams with more clarity. Dreams become a reality only when you pull them gently from the clouds and convert them into visions. The most pathetic person in the world is someone who has sight but no vision. Think for a second about those people that you know that are dreamers. Like we all kind of know those people where we're like, oh, you know, they're just a dreamer. Like they're always got something they're cooking up. They've always got something that they want to do. They're just a dreamer, but they never make anything happen. I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to be that person. I don't want to be that person who's like, oh, she joined that network marketing company. She'll probably jump into another one next week. I don't want to be that person who says, oh, I'm going to go do XYZ. But then I never actually make it happen. Like I want to be someone who, when I say that I have a dream, I have a vision to go along with it. And I have clear goals of how I'm going to reach that dream and make it happen. Proverbs 29:18 says, where there is no vision, the people perish. Guys, perish literally means die. So where there is no vision, your business dies. If you do not have a vision for your business and where you are going, your business will die. Every single company that grows has a vision. My full-time job, we literally last year sat down and we made a roadmap for the next 5 years. It's called Roadmap 2020. And we literally made a vision of where we want to be. And every single time we meet, we talk about that vision. That's the first thing we talk about at the beginning of the meeting. Where are we with our Roadmap 2020? We have to have a vision for the future. Where there is no vision, people perish. Guys, even in your personal lives, you should have a vision for where you want to go. You should have a vision for where you want to get to financially. You should have a vision for where you want to get, even in your walk with Jesus spiritually, like you should have something you're always shooting for, areas of your life that you know need growth. What are you going to do to get there? Don't just say you want to grow there. Don't just say that you want to achieve that. Don't just say that you want to see that dream happen. We've got to do something about it, and we have to have vision about how we are going to do that. Dave Ramsey also said this: where there is no vision in your marriage, where there is no vision, your marriage will fail. Your family will be dysfunctional. You will stumble in your spiritual walk, and you will get fat and flabby, and your money will disappear. Now, the second part is a little harsh, fat and flabby, but you guys get the point here, right? Like, if we don't have a vision for where we want our marriage to go, the kind of marriage we want to have, like, it's not going to happen. I posted this on my Instagram yesterday. Like, just because you have a kid doesn't mean you're a great parent. That just means that you had sex. Sorry if that's too much for people, but it's just the truth. Just because you are married doesn't mean you have a great marriage. It just means that you got married. We have to put in the work. We have to have a vision of where we want to go. Otherwise, we're not going to have that great marriage. We're not going to have, or be great parents, right? We're not going to be great business owners. None of us are qualified for what we're called to do, right? But God gives us the strength to become better, to push through. But it's going to require work on our ends. I was talking to a leader the other day who was in our downline, and she said to me, I just don't feel like I'm ready to lead people. Like, I feel like there's so many things that I still haven't learned. Guess what, guys? Like, I have paved this path as I have walked down it. And so many leaders before me have, because none of us feel qualified. None of us feel like we have it all together. I mean, there's questions people ask me all the time, and I'm like, I have no idea, but I will find out the answer for you. None of us feel qualified to do this, right? Like, we're still trying to figure it out. Some of us are still trying to figure out, like, how do I help 3 new people a month? And what does that look like? And how do I grow my Instagram? But that doesn't mean that God hasn't called you to lead other people. And so you need to continue to pursue and have vision. Like, if you know you want to be a better leader, do something about it. Whether it's reading a personal development book on leadership, or, maybe praying and asking God for like a mentor that he can place in your life that lives in your town that you can get coffee with. Maybe they're not in the same industry as you, but maybe you can just ask them questions like about being a leader and what does it look like to lead people. Asking God for those things and having a clear vision of where you want to go so that you can put steps in place. So, what is the vision for your business? Do you know? A lot of people don't. What is the vision for your team? Do you have a team statement? What is your personal mission statement? Every single one of us should have a vision for our business, a team mission statement, and a personal mission statement. Now, if you're a brand new coach, you may not have a team statement, mission statement yet, and that is okay. But you should have a personal mission statement. You should have a personal mission statement for your with your family and for your life. And then on top of that, you should have a vision for your business and where you want this to go. And you should have a team mission statement for your team specifically. So without a good mission statement, you have the potential to get to the top of the ladder only to find it leaning against the wrong building. A mission statement is further clarification and definition of your goals and vision and assures you that your goals are aimed to the right target. So I meant to put Dave Ramsey here as well. So many quotes from Dave Ramsey tonight. But this is true, guys. You don't want to get to the end of your life, or you don't want to get to a year or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 in this business and be like, man, I'm so successful in this business, but it's not the success that I wanted to build. Yeah, you may be an elite coach, or you may be, making a lot of money, or you may be, whatever, but like, is it the success that you wanted? Are you living out the mission statement that you were called to live? And so you really need to make sure that you have a clear vision of where you want to go. One really important thing for us here with the Fit for His Glory Sisters is that we don't want to just help women get fit and healthy. We want to help women get fit and healthy, and we want to point them to Jesus. So if I get to 5 years in this business and I've got a ton of challengers, but not one of them can say that I have hopefully pushed them to be more like Jesus, then I haven't lived out my vision statement. And my ladder is leaned up against the wrong wall. And so make sure that you have a very clear mission statement of where you want to go. Make sure it's clear. Make sure that, some random person could read it and literally know what you're about. Dan Miller says that a mission statement should reflect your calling and include, number 1, you and your skills and abilities. This is the what. So what do you do? That's the first thing it should include. The second thing it should include is your personality traits. This is the how. How do you and your team execute things? So this is going to be based on your personality, right? And then number 3 is your values, dreams, and passions. This is really like your why. So the first thing that you want your mission statement to include is that what, right? Like, what do you do? You help people get fit and healthy. You help people help people. What does that look like for you? And the second thing should be that your personality. Like, how do you do what you do? What makes you different in that? Number 3, your values, your dreams, your why. And so I really urge you guys over the next few weeks, sit down and figure out what your mission statement is for your business. It may be the one-liner that you put in your bio of your Instagram or on your Facebook somewhere, but like really living it out. And honestly, I would encourage you guys to type it up and print it off and laminate it and put it in your office somewhere and put it in your notebook. This is what I'm going to be doing for us for the Fit for His Glory Sisters. I'm going to be rolling this out on our first call this in 2019. I'll be sharing with you guys our 5-year plan and our mission statement and what that looks like for our team as a whole. But it's really important that you also have your own clear mission statement of what you want to do in this business and in your personal life as well. Goals are visions and dreams with work clothes on. Goals convert into energy, and goals help make us great women. So first step is our visions, right? Like we want to have those visions, the direction that we want to go. But goals are visions and dreams. So visions and dreams are very similar, right? But goals are kind of like the things you got to do to get to that vision and dream. And so I loved this. Like, it is your vision and dreams with work clothes on. So it's like, okay, now it's time to do the work. And this is where you really take like that big dream and you break it down into little bite-sized pieces, right? And some of our goals and dreams may be like, hey, this could happen in 6 months. But some of our goals and dreams may be like a 5-year plan. And so we want to have little steps along the way that are going to help us get there. And this is what is going to help us become really great women, right? And really great business owners and really help impact more lives. If we don't have dreams, we don't have visions, if we don't have goals, then we're not moving. We're just stagnant. And that's not what God calls us to do. So goals that work have 5 main components. Number 1, they are specific. Number 2, they are measurable. Number 3, goals have a time limit. Number 4, goals must be your goals. And number 5, goals must be in writing. So we're going to break this down a little bit, okay? So first off, goals must be specific. You cannot be vague when it comes to your goals, okay? You have got to be very specific. Like saying that you want to lose weight, so that's just an example, obviously, but saying that you want to lose weight is not specific, okay? So here's some examples of what a better like writing of that goal would be, right? I want to lose 30 pounds. Okay, well, that's losing weight. That's a very specific number. Do you see what I'm saying? I want a waist that is 4 inches smaller. I want to make $100,000 per year. I want a college degree in blank. I want to have a dinner with 6 couples. So these are very specific goals, right? And they're much more specific than just the broad thing of I want to lose weight, or, I want to make a lot of money, or I want to go back to school. You've got to really be specific about what your goals are. Otherwise, you really can't celebrate them. Number 2, did that just go this more? Number 2, Goals must be measurable. So once you land on that specific goal, you can make a plan for tracking those goals. And you want to make sure that you're able to measure them. So an example would be that some people write their measurable goals on a whiteboard in their office or hang them on the refrigerator. I know a girl in Team Iron who each month she takes her goals and she writes them on her dry erase board. I actually used to do this and I really need to go back to it, but it's more of a visual thing. You know, if you're a visual person, seeing that goal up there where you can go up and check mark and maybe write someone's name. So maybe your goal is to hit Success Club 5 every month. So you want to have 3 new people that enter into your challenge group or your business. And so each month on your dry erase board, you put, change 3 lives. And each time that you send out that share card and you see those 2 points pop up on your Success Club on your back office, you go up there and you put a tally mark and you write down the person's name. That way that you don't forget that it's not just a number, it's not just a tally mark, it's a person behind that. But it also just helps you visualize that, right? Like you're actually watching your goal come to life. And so maybe for you, it's that. Maybe it's a Google Doc. Maybe you're just like one of those trackers. That's how my husband is. He loves tracking things. So he wants to know exactly how we're going to get there. So like, for instance, Elite for next year. Boy has already made a brand new Elite tracker based on the new Elite goals. And he's like, all right, this is the goal. Here's how we're going to get here. Here's how, he has a way for us to measure it. It's very specific. He knows what I need each month to make it happen. And so you want to make sure that you make your goals measurable. Measurable progress is called traction. When you can watch movement towards your goal, this is what's going to keep you motivated. So for me, watching our team grow, watching that number go up, watching that momentum happen each month really helps you stay motivated. And even if you have a month that's not so great, as you see that your income go up, or you see the lives you're impacting, or you see like your team getting closer to hitting Premier, you can stay motivated to finish the year strong because you're able to see that traction happening. And so that is why it is so important that you are tracking your income, that you're tracking your goals, that you're tracking what you want to see happen in your business, because it is going to keep you motivated on the months when you feel like giving up. Number 3, goals must have a time limit. So goals without a time limit are unable to be broken down into micro goals. So if you don't have a time limit on it, if I don't say, if my goal doesn't have a deadline of, let's say for Elite, I'm just using this as an example. I'm not trying to dive too deep into Elite, but my goal is for by December 31st, 2019, we will be an Elite team. Okay, awesome, Caroline, but that's a whole year, right? Like, I need to break that down into bite-sized pieces, because if I'm just like, hopefully by the end of the year we're Elite, then like we're not going to get there. So I have to break it down into little micro goals throughout the year that are going to help us hit that. Maybe your goal is diamond. So I use that as an example. I want to hit diamond by January 31st. I've got 4 weeks to hit diamond. What do I need in order to get there? So say that you have 3 coaches on your team. Well, guess what? You need to have 8 coaches. So you need 4 on one leg, 4 on the other. So, okay, I've got 3 coaches. So that means I need 5 coaches to get to diamonds. And I need, one of those people to go emerald. So you're going to take that 4 weeks. You're going to divide that 5 coaches by 4. And all of a sudden you're going to need 2 coaches 1 week, obviously, but the rest of the weeks you need 1 coach. So let's shoot for 2 the first week. That way we don't have to stress on the last few weeks. So go for 2, and then hopefully then you just go for 1 the next few weeks. And you're going to get to diamond. So you've got to, you see guys what I'm saying? Like you got to take that bigger goal, but you've got to break it down into micro goals that are going to keep you motivated and excited. And it's really good if you can, obviously, to try to, if you need 2 people or you need extra in the beginning, try to hit that as soon as you can. That way it keeps you motivated to the end, because you can see that the goal is actually attainable. Number 4, goals must be your goals. I hear this all the time from people, like all the time, which is actually really sad. But, women will come in and they'll say, my husband wants me to do this business. My mom thinks I need to get fit and healthy, so I want to join your challenge group. Here's the thing, guys. If it is not your goal, you are not going to be able to persevere when it gets hard. That's just it in a nutshell. If you try to live up to goals that I place on you, or that your husband places on you, or that your friend places on you, or that you place on yourself, and because of, being competitive with someone else or whatever, like, it is going to be hard for you to push through when the going gets tough. These goals have to be things that you are passionate about making happen. For me, I have been very upfront with you guys about the fact that one of my goals is that I want to be able to stay home with my daughter one day. Guess what? I have to break that, or that's my vision, I guess you'd say. But my goal within that is that I have to make a certain amount of money, because I make an income right now, a full-time income, and I need to replace that if I want to be able to quit my job. And so for me, there is a financial goal. There is breaking that down into what that looks like. If someone came to me and said, hey, Caroline, I want your goal to be, XYZ, like it's just something completely different from my actual goal, I'd be like, that's great, but that doesn't motivate me. Like, when the going gets tough, that's not going to keep me motivated, because I'm not passionate about that. I'm passionate about being home with my daughter. And I'm passionate about the flexibility to not have a boss that I have to call into when my daughter's sick and say, hey, I'm not going to be able to make the meeting today. She's sick. Like, I don't want to have to do that. I want to be my own boss, and I want to decide whenever I need to stay home with her. And, everybody has their own thing and their own goals. So I'm not like pressing my goals on anyone else here. I'm just simply saying that I could not be passionate about a goal that someone else gave me, but I am passionate about my goal because it's something that gets me fired up, and it's going to help me push through when the going gets tough. And it has, time after time after time. That is what is going to help you push through those bumps when your goals are truly your goals. And so as you sit down, and we'll get to this again in a second, but as you sit down and you really start to think about 2019, please do me a favor. Don't set goals that are not your goals. If diamond is not your goal and it's Caroline's goal for you, please tell me. Be like, Caroline, that's not my goal. And I'll be like, I'm so sorry. Like, you're so right. Like, I want whatever your goals are, like, I'm here, right? And so make sure that your goals are your goals. Number 5, goals must be in writing. For some reason, this is the number one step that everyone does not do. Like, people are just like, not going to write down my goals, whatever. We think it's not important, but this is actually one of the most important steps of all, guys. It sounds so silly, but you've got to write down what your goals are. Like, you can't just be like, okay, that was a good thought. That'll be my goal. No, you've got to write it down. You've got to write it out. You've got to make it happen. If you think about the people that you admire the most, I can almost guarantee you that they have goals and that they track them and that they make them happen. You've got to write them down. You've got to make them happen. You've got to put them somewhere where you're going to see them. You've got to check in on your goals. You've got to be super proactive about these goals if you want to actually achieve them. Quick example. I loved this example. Erin actually had some weight she wanted to lose. And so she made a really easy tracking system for herself where she, in a notebook, wrote, I don't even remember exactly how much weight it was or whatever, but it was like, let's say 150 pounds, 149 pounds, 148 pounds, so she broke it down. So each day, and every time she'd hit that weight, she'd exit out until it was to her goal weight. And I love that because she wrote it down. It was trackable. She could see it. She could envision it. She could watch it happen. It kept her motivated whenever she felt like giving up. So I love this quote. I think there is something more important than believing. There's action. The world is full of dreamers. There isn't enough who will move ahead and begin to take concrete steps to actualize their vision. So this was by W. Clements Jones. Guys, this is so true. This is what we're doing when we're really taking a step back before the 2019 and we're writing down our vision and we're writing down our goals, is we are saying we want to take action this year. We don't want to just say we want to do things. We want to actually go and do them. And so we've got to take concrete steps if we want to see those visions come to life. Another Dave Ramsey quote. Having a dream that moves to a vision, then to a mission statement, and then is broken down into goals is essential to winning personally, but it's also crucial in business. Guys, I think that we lose this sometimes. We think, oh, this is so great for business, but this is so not like important for my personal life. But I talk to women after woman after woman each and every day who feels overwhelmed, like they have way too much on their plate, like they are just like sinking. They just like, they don't know what to do. They're frustrated. And so much of it is they don't have that mission statement. They don't have that personal mission statement. They don't have a big goal that they're breaking down into little goals. Like they're just getting by day by day by day. But we've got to have something to look forward to. We've got to break these down so that we can win personally as well. All right. So again, you're going to want to print off this whole packet, guys. And what I really want you guys to do is I want you to sit down and like I said off the top, I want you to really pray through, God, where do you want to take me in 2019? We've recapped last year. We've seen where you've been so, so good. But God, what do you have for me this year? God, what are some goals that you have for me physically? What are some goals that you have for me spiritually? What are some goals that you have for my family? Maybe it's in finances. Maybe it's just things we want to do together more. Maybe it's in your marriage specifically. And then God, what are some things that you have for me in my business? And then I just want you to really break these things down. So let's start with spiritual. First, we're going to start with a grateful heart. God, what 3 things am I grateful for in my walk with you this year? Like, what did you do that was just so awesome? Or God, what were those sweet moments where you grew me? Those things that seem so hard in the moment, but God, I look back and I see how you just made me better. And then I really want you to make a list. So the following things have been on my heart to commit to. So I want you to make a list of the things that God's been kind of doing. Obviously, we can't do everything right. Like all of us want to do a million things. Hello, I'm like the most guilty of that. But I really want you to sit down and want you to list out the things that've really been on your heart. And I want you to seriously spend time on this, guys. Like this is not something you should be rushing through. It's not something you're doing with your baby on your hip and, 10 other kids running around, right? Like this is something that you might stay up late and do one night after everyone's gone to bed and the house is quiet, or maybe early in the morning, or maybe during nap time, maybe instead of your power hour one day. Really sitting down and praying through that list of things that you feel like calling to commit to and saying, God, I know I cannot commit to everything. What are the 2, 3, maybe even one thing that you want me to add to my year this year? And maybe there's even something he's calling you to take away. We say yes to way too many things, way too many things. And what happens is that so many times we're running around hustling, trying to keep up with all these yeses, that we forget about the things that are the most important, our family and our friends and our walk with the Lord, number one. And so I want you to really prayerfully consider, like, what is God calling you to? And Lord, would you just give me clarity in that and believe that God is calling you to those? And so I want you to then circle those things that God is calling you to do in 2019. And then physically, what 3 things am I grateful for that God did in my physical health and fitness this year? And then again, I want you to write down the things that you want to commit to in your own physical health and fitness this year, and really prayerfully consider what are those 3 of that list of things, because we know we cannot do everything. Simple, small steps, guys. What are 3 things that I'm actually going to commit to and actually going to do? And then in my family, God, what 3 things am I grateful for that God did in my family this year? And then, Lord, what are those things that you want me to commit to? And then in my business, what 3 things am I grateful God did in and through my business this year? And then again, really thinking through a list of all, because we all got plenty of ideas. Am I right? Like I could literally think of an idea every single day. 99% of them would probably end up being terrible. But really sitting down and saying, what are those ideas that have been on my mind, that's been on my heart? And what 3 am I truly going to commit to? And then I want you to sit down and really, again, prayerfully think through your personal mission statement. Dave Ramsey actually, when he interviews people for jobs, you have to have a personal mission statement. He will ask you for that. If you do not have one, he will have you put one together. That's part of the interview process with him, because he wants to make sure that your personal mission statement aligns with his mission statement and what he is doing in his company. And I think that's really important that we all just commit to, hopefully, if you want to, but I know I will be just like writing that personal vision statement of what you want your life to look like. and then team statement. So all of you guys here, I mean, you're all coaches, right? And a few of you may have big teams and a few of you may have little teams. Maybe you just a baby coach. Maybe you're part of our bigger team. You don't even have to have a coach. You could be, or a coach under you. You could be day one on the job, right? But what do you want your team to look like? You can still write a vision statement. Actually, it's the best time to write a vision statement before you have anyone on your team, so that you know exactly the kind of people that you're looking for, the kind of people that you want to be a part of what God is going to do in and through you. And so sitting down and deciding, what is that team vision statement you have? And then here's the most important process, right? The most important part of this entire thing. What is the daily routine that you will have that will push you towards those goals and that vision? I always say this, but routine and rhythms are such an important part of this job and being a coach. Like, if you want to be successful, it's not necessarily in the, talking to a million people or doing XYZ. It really comes down to consistency and rhythms and routine. And some of the most successful coaches are the coaches that have that rhythm and routine in their life. And so sit down and decide right now, what do you want to commit to for 2019? What time do you want to wake up every day? What do you want your morning to look like? Obviously, if you're a mama, maybe your mornings are committed to your kids. But maybe midday you put, nap time this, or maybe evening on these days I'm going to commit to working my business, or maybe, XYZ. And then what time do you want to go to bed every night? Like, having a daily routine, not just like, okay, I think I'm going to wake up at this time. Okay, I think I'm going to go to bed at this time. Like, you need to have a plan of what you want your daily routine to look like. And then I want you to sit down and I want you to use Canva or PicMonkey, and I want you to take everything from this packet, everything you wrote out with your vision statement and your goals, and God, what do you want to do physically and spiritually and in my business and in my family? And I want you to take all of that stuff, and I want you to just to create a really simple vision board. And some people think that vision boards are hokey and weird, but I really do believe that they help us just envision what that would look like and where we want to go. All of us have different personalities. Some of us look at words on a paper and we're like, wonder what that means. Some of us are very visual. Some of us need vision boards to be able to just motivate us. But I think it's a good exercise just to create that collage and print it off, and maybe you put it in your office or you laminate it or put it as the background on your phone or whatever you need to do, just to keep it top of mind of this is what I want 2019 to look like. And that's it, guys. So now that you've kind of seen the blueprints, again, I just want to reiterate the importance of this truly being something that you own. I'm not going to prescribe that you need to have XYZ goals. I'm not going to say that you need to, turn something into me. I am going to do a post in the new year, just saying something about you sharing your goals, and then I'll do another post on you sharing your personal mission statement. And if you're comfortable, I would love for you to obviously share that, just because it's going to help me as your coach, right? If I know, Erin's personal mission statement and her goals for her business next year, that's going to help me better serve her. And then also I'm going to open up time slots for you guys to sign up for, where we can go over your goals and your personal mission statement, just to kind of talk through what do you want this to look like, and what does 2019 mean, and how can I help you? Because I love helping people in health and fitness, right? My ultimate goal is to help you help more people. And so I want to help you in whatever that looks like, whether that's, being able to stay home or helping impact more lives, or whatever your goal is. I want to help you make that happen. And so it's just really important to me to know what those goals are, and we can really talk through it. But I think it's important to remember, guys, that as you're sitting down and you're creating this routine and you're creating your vision and you're really figuring out what does that look like, just remembering that we all have the same amount of hours in a day. There are literally 168 hours. And if you take 40 hours of maybe working full time, if you do, out of that equation, maybe that's even working your business, whatever, you sleep 8 hours at night, that still leaves us with 72 hours during our week. And I think we forget about that a lot of times. And so really thinking about where do you want that time to go in 2019 and being very intentional as we head into the new year. All right. Well, that is all that I have for you guys today. I will be uploading this document immediately onto our Facebook page, but I would love to just take a second and answer any questions or get your thoughts if you have anything. If you don't want to unmute yourself, you can drop it in the chat box, or you can unmute yourself and, grace us all with your presence or your question. Does anyone have anything? What do you guys think about this? Is it overwhelming, exciting? Like, what are your thoughts?
Caroline, can you hear me?
Anybody? It's okay. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for being on tonight. Like I said, I will post this recording and let me know. Thanks, Bonnie, for the feedback. Oh, I'm so glad, Carrie. Carrie said this put fire under her dreams. We're going to make 2019 the best year yet, guys. Like, I want to be so intentional this year with you and even with myself, So I'm excited. God is confirming everything he's been doing in my life this tonight. So thank you. Oh, I love this. You guys are awesome. Bonnie sold her first challenge pack today. Look, that is a great way to kick off the new year. That is for celebrating. See? This is awesome. I love it. You guys are so great. Well, I love you all. Thank you so much for being on tonight. I am so stinking excited. Next year, yes, Anna, I know. We haven't even had Anna's getting started right call yet, so she's just jumping straight in. I love it. So next year, by the way, and we totally didn't plan this in advance, but we need to have like a virtual Christmas party. Like, I'll wear our, nasty Christmas sweaters and like, I don't even know, like somehow do a gift exchange. I don't know. It'd be fun. But I saw another coach do that and was like, that's such a good idea. Next year we will do that. But I hope you guys have such a Merry Christmas, and I hope you know how much I love y'all and how thankful I am for you. And man, it's just been a great year. So here's to 2019, and can't wait to see your goals and your thoughts and all of your dreams come into action. And just yeah, it's going to be really good. So I love y'all, and I hope you have an amazing night. Thanks everyone for being on.